Hello and welcome back to Discovery Studios, my very own custom theme park in Planet Coaster 2, where we have built 5 different themed lands, all based on real life things, and after almost a year working on this, we have finally come to the final ride in the park. I know, so sad. But this huge dark ride is set to be the biggest and best thing we've made in the park, and is unlike anything I have ever built before. And today we're going to build the entire ride system for it, and even add in a little bit of theming in there too. So make sure you watch till the end so you don't miss the work in progress POV, and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. Because not only do we have to finish this dark ride, completing it with all the theming in the next episode, but at the same time after that, there's a finale with a firework and surprise show. I can't really say what's going to be in it just yet, but I'm very excited for it and I hope you guys are too. And the final tour of the park before releasing it to the workshop and moving on with the next project, which is hopefully going to take a bit less time. I can't believe we are almost a year into this project. It is absolutely insane. It feels like I started it last night, but I did not. I started it last year. Yeah, it has taken me some time, but I'm trying to perfect it as best I can, and as I say all the time, I don't want to rush things, so that is why I have taken my time with this project. But as you can see, starting already with this dark ride. What do you mean it's a dark ride? Isn't it a dark coaster? You're using a roller coaster to make it. Well, if you cast your minds back to the Wallace and Gromit off the rails dark ride we made, which obviously was a sort of trackless ride system similar to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. That is a mouthful. Similar to that, we made that using the multi-dimension coasters. So at first when I built the layout, it appeared to be a roller coaster. It is not that by any means. Along with this, because this is definitely not a roller coaster. Well, it may seem it off-ride. On-ride, it definitely is not. So as you can see, extending the ride car out and making some extra seats. And that is because, I mean, I mentioned this many, many moons ago. So if you remember this, then fair play. But the whole point of this ride is to replicate the sort of similar ride system to what they've done over at Epic Universe with Ministry of Magic, just themed to an even better IP, Pokémon. Yes, can't wait to get into this. And the whole point of this ride is you're going to have the huge Pokemon area. It's a nice little town in the Sinnoh region. You've got Professor Rowan's laboratory as soon as you walk in. That is the station for the Poke Coaster, which obviously I haven't actually told you who's named that yet because you guys get the decision on naming things. So we will go through all of them in the final tour. And then you walk even further in the area. You've got Mount Coronet right off to the right. Snowy mountain with Pokemon all over it. And the main focal point that you will see no matter where you are in the Pokemon area is right at the back and will be similar. Again, we're going to compare to Harry Potter because this is the Ministry of Magic Dark Ride system. So imagine the Hogwarts Castle in Islands of Adventure. I almost forgot the name of the park then. In Islands of Adventure, how you can always see that. Even though there's so many nice buildings beforehand in Hogsmeade, this is that. Because this is going to be the Pokemon League. So you're going to have this massive, like, 4-pillared building at the back with some really nice roof work. And you're going to be able to see that all throughout the area. And it will house this dark ride behind it. So, yeah, very, like, Forbidden Journey-esque with the sort of facade and how that's going to work. And then very Ministry of Magic on the inside. So basically, this whole park and everything about it is inspired by Universal, and that's okay. But you can see me spending a lot of time on just extending this ride car by probably 3 seats on either side. Well, 1 seat either side, technically. And why is that? Why have I gone to the full length to make brand new seats and then, you know, build this car outwards? Well, it's because not only is the Ministry of Magic Dark Ride got a lot bigger of a ride car that can seat quite a few people. It does have a walkway down the middle, which I can't do. So, I mean, if I actually had the ability to custom make an entire ride car and put the seats where I wanted to, then I could do that. But that would just be way too technical, and I understand why that probably isn't in the game. But yeah, you can see me going through a lot of lengths to actually make this ride car wider. And that is because the sort of sight lines that you see during Ministry of Magic and during this dark ride as well it really would be weird if you just had an open ride car, because you'd be able to see left and right, you'd see the size of the sets before you even approach them, and that's not how this dark ride works. It's whatever the ride wants you to see, you're seeing. So instead of being able to look around, you're looking directly out. It's almost like looking at a screen in a way, but you are looking directly out of that box that you're in, and you've only got that sort of field of view, which I do actually raise the roof up because it does feel a little bit low. But this ride car really does work. It works so well for what I wanted to do, and we're going to start building the track for it. So yeah, this is one part of it. You will not be able to see the track throughout the entire ride, so it will literally feel like you are just floating along, which is absolutely fantastic. It's a really cool effect. I don't really know why I thought of doing this. I think I literally, at the time, we'd seen Epic Universe open, and I just thought, oh, Ministry of Magic, I'd obviously been on it at that point. I actually don't know if I've been on it at this point. This might be so old that I hadn't been on it, and I went in September. Fact check, I'd actually been on it at this point because I made this in January. This footage is from January, at the start of this year, and we're halfway through the year, and it's only just surfacing. I told you I like to take my time on things, but this is hopefully the last time this should happen in any series ever, because, well, I mean, I have a tendency of actually starting series and then never finishing them. Colossus in Planet Coaster. But yeah, as you can see, building the ride layout. And if you know Ministry of Magic, that dark ride, Battle of the Ministry I should be calling it, there are some massive sets in there. So we're going to be doing a similar thing with this, of course, this time themed to Pokemon, which the way it's going to work, the story of the ride, Pokemon League is at the end of the game pretty much. And you'll have these 4 people that have these Pokemon. They've worked their way up to this Pokemon League. They're now part of the Pokemon League. And these 4 will try and fight you with their Pokemon. They're different types as well. I think Bug, Psychic, Fire, and Ground types. If I've just got that right, that is insane. But those 4 fight you in consecutive sessions. So you literally go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And then after you defeat all those 4, you then head to the main champion, who in this Sinnoh region, this game is called Cynthia. So the whole point of this ride is that you're going to sort of go along and you sort of build up and you see this really grand hall as you go into the Elite Four. You go up the lift and then you head up to those 4 and you fight them 4 at the same time, because you can't really fight them all at once in this game, because that would be a lot of stop, start, stop, start. But then you'll fight all of them, defeat them, go round into a very similar hall that's even more grand, and see the champion and fight her. So yeah, a lot to do with this dark ride. And originally I actually cut it out because, well, it's just going to be pointless because I don't build it that long. But the whole layout was way longer when I first started building this, and I just thought, how the hell am I going to pack that out with the whole story that I planned to? At that point I probably could have done the 4 consecutive battles, but I didn't want to do that because that would just be long. And I'm building the first Grand Hall here. So you're going to go up that little lift. You do that in the game. You stand in a little lift. You go up. And then you head into one. Well, that's going to go up some stairs there. And then you'll face off against the Elite Four by turning around here. Which I do change as I'm changing the whole ride as I go along. Because you'll see, I mean, it just did. The ride rolled back. The speed testing on this thing, it takes a lot of trial and error. Obviously, I've never built a dark ride like this, so trying to get the speeds right and everything. I think it might make it this time. No. Yeah, you see what I mean? It's just a lot of trial and error with it. And obviously trying to see where the rotations would be, and you can see it facing the other way as it goes around that first portion of the track. And then it's going to turn around here and head into a small little launch to kick it off into the first fight sequence. And this bit's going to be not very intense because I want to save that for the champion battle, but you are going to be sort of swung around in that car quite a bit, and then obviously flying around the track, which obviously you can't see, so it just feels like you're flying around the entire Pokemon League. As you can see, doing a little POV here. This is when I think I realised that the actual roof is way too low, but I'll slow this down and you can actually see the sort of like waviness of the ride, and the fact you can't see that track. It just feels like you're on some sort of robo arm. I mean, that bit was very slow. That bit needs to be changed, but yeah, you can, well, I mean, you can see the track here, but this will all be covered up with theming, and this will be where that grand hall is. So when the roof is a bit taller, you'll be able to see right down to the end of that grand hall as you then go up that little lift. It's funny how laggy this is because I literally upgraded my computer since then multiple times. Oh, that was a bit vicious. But yeah, look, it's like waving around. Lovely. So it appears back in January, I only decided to film up until that first little turn and the POV, because after that, I just stopped filming anything. I don't really know why. I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. So after that first turn, we'll go through it later. You actually go through a couple more turns, and then you head down a little bit of a drop as it breaks down, and then you'll head into the main fight sequence. Now that's sort of like the build up of the music and everything, a few sound effects here and there, and then you'll drop down into that whole fight sequence. And we've come out of that now, and that second lift I've just made, that is where you'll go into the champion battle. And I do go and actually update that because I forgot to put the staircase in after you go up the lift. I don't really know why I decided to put a staircase in after a lift. The whole point of a lift is to get you to the top floor really quick and not have to go up any stairs, but it works for the ride. So yeah, you'll go all along these little bumps and hills and head up a huge hill right at the end. I guess I might have not have filmed it because it's a bit boring, like just building a ride system. Like you know the gist of it from the first section. And yeah, we'll head up this little hill. Something will happen, I assume. The whole thing with Cynthia, the champion, is that you fight her Garchomp, is what it's called, the Pokemon. So that'll probably be the finale, where you defeat that. And then you drop down into the Hall of Fame. Is it the Hall of Fame? I think it's called. And then you go back into the fake station. Yeah, that's the only thing about this ride. I've had to make fake station and a fake exit station, because otherwise it just wouldn't work. And you can see the ride testing right there. There you go. That sort of first section is now complete. You can see it going around. It looks so weird. Like, if you just look at the ride car, it is moving so well. But then you look at the track underneath it and you're like, what is going on? Like, it just doesn't work. That bit was way too fast, so I actually go and update that. But it just was a lot of this. And that's why I remember cutting it out now, to be fair. Because it's just so much of test the ride. And you have to test it from the start and not speed it up, just to make sure all the like speeds are okay with the music and everything, because I am trying to make some on-ride audio for it and put that together anyway for this entire dark ride, because music's very important, you know. You'll notice with most of these rides, and especially the dark rides, I will not have a single part of it where there is zero music or sound effects, because I just think music elevates stuff so much. So if you are building your own coaster or building your own dark ride or something, put it to some music and it'll probably help a lot. And put some sound effects over it, because it'll make it way better. As I build the, well, I'm smoothing out the final section, making it rotate round. Yeah, the sets in this thing, you can see the warehouse and how high I've made that. It's gone even taller than that warehouse. And you'll see that at the end of this video. So, yeah, I need to try and work out how to make a warehouse not look insanely large, because I don't know how you're not going to see it on that skyline. And I'm changing some of the brake speeds and the rotation on some of the ride. That stop section just before you go into the lift, well, before you go into the corner into that lift, that is where you're going to heal up your Pokemon. I thought, you know, it's a classic part of the game. You'll stop in the Pokemon Center, you'll hear the little dum 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 dum. Did you like my impression? You'll hear that, and then you'll go on with your Pokemon fully healed. So I thought that'd be really nice to have at the start of the ride and halfway through as well. It's almost like, I guess, you are sort of doing the start of the ride again, but you're doing it on a more grand scale because you're about to defeat the champion this time round. So, yeah. I don't... What just happened there? I went into a POV and it just completely stopped and cut out. I guess we're just skipping along the way. Skipping past... Okay, yep. Skipping to the theming now as well. Fantastic. To be fair, I did say that the whole point of this episode was mainly the ride system and that I would do a little bit of theming. And that is kind of what I'm doing here. Originally, I don't really like building a dark ride and sort of making 2 episodes of it. I'd quite like to finish it all off in one. But because this is such a big ride, and I know it would take me a very long time and you probably wouldn't see an episode for about 4 weeks, I thought it'd be nice to do an episode now where I build the ride system and do a little bit of the theming to show you what you can expect. And this isn't the final sort of, you know, the lighting and everything. That's going to change a lot. There'll be a lot like dimmer lighting and everything, and it'll be a lot more intense. because when you see it in the daylight, when it's got no roof, it looks terrible. Like, it just looks like a classic outdoor ride with a bunch of walls, and that's it. So, and it's not fully finished, like I've said. So anything you see in the on-ride POV at the end, as I go over to the Pokecoaster entrance and bring that Pokeball along, because why not? Anything you see at the end of this video is a work in progress POV, as always. So yeah, you've got this this sort of healing section here where you're going to have all the Pokeballs, and then you're going to have them all heal simultaneously. Yep, there we go. Can't speak English. And I've frozen on the screen as well. Oh no, I haven't. There you go. The Pokeballs are in, and you're going to have this flashing white light that goes around them on a horizontal or vertical rotation platform type thing. So you'll see it sort of pop in and out when the sound effect goes off. Should be really nice. And it's just sort of at the start of the ride, and I'm going to duplicate this at the later point where it stops as well. And after this, you'll turn around, and again, if you've been on the Ministry of Magic Dark ride, I probably should have put a spoiler warning at the start of this episode, but I apologise. There's a section on it, and to be fair, I've only spoiled the ride system. I haven't spoiled anything else, but there's a section on it where you do come face to face with like the sign that says "Welcome to the Ministry of Magic" or like the Ministry of Creatures or whatever. There's just a massive sign that says that, and it's lit up really nicely. So we're going to do that for the Elite Four as well, just as your sort of entry point into that main room. And yeah, there you go. It's just sort of making that as an animatronic. So you'll see that pop up and down as if it's healing. Nice. There you go. Wow, look at my visual effects. Whoa. I put these black walls in, as you can see. That'll sort of separate that section of the ride from anywhere else, and that'll be just completely dark other than that healing point. And then you'll turn around to the Elite Four sign. Yes, here we go. This takes a lot of rejigging around to sort of make it correct, but I'm actually trying to line it up with the ride and make it so you come face to face with it. You'll notice the ride car's actually gone on that train. That's because, well, there's multiple trains on this, and for now I don't want to put the amount of pieces that was on that one ride car on every single one, because that might just kill my computer, and we don't want that. So I've decided to just leave it off, and I don't know why that changed to Samurai then. Decided to leave it off until a later time where we can do that. And yeah, I'm lowering that down just to make the floor not even visible from the ride. I don't think it would be anyway, but just to have it so when it sort of goes down towards the ground and you face more towards the ground is a lot further away. I thought that might be quite cool. A nice effect to make it look even bigger than it actually is. As we make that, and we've just got floating Pokeballs then. And as you can see, it's testing along as it has been all video. And if we quickly go into real time. Yeah, that was unexpected, wasn't it? We are here in real time to have a look at the ride layout. And as you can see, the work in progress Grand Hall to go and defeat the Pokemon League, the Elite Four, is quite tall. So I don't really know how I'm going to cover that just yet, but I'm sure I'll work out a way to do it. But as you can see, we've got the ride layout in front of us, and we're going to quickly take a look at the ride car going around the entire ride to sort of show you what I've done. And as you can see, it's going to go up. Never mind. So the fake station will be right here, and you can see this is where it'll park up, and in real life it would be when the gate on the front of it opens, and then obviously you walk in, but you can't do that in this game. So the plan is to make a fake station using this part of the queue line, because obviously people will be able to ride it and have it go straight up to that. And it stops there for quite some time before it heads into the actual ride itself, and it'll of course stop over here to make way for the I'm not going to do the impression again. The Pokemon healing sound effect. And then, yeah, you can see it sort of going amongst the track and twisting all around as well before you head into this Grand Hall, which of course is unfinished. And I'll save this for the work in progress POV just so you can get a good view of what's there. But this is where you'll see those 4 Elite Four members, and you'll head into the ride, and we'll literally just give it a look off-ride. You can just see how much it's like swaying around. If we ignore the track underneath, it does look like a very nice ride system. This is the section where you'll be fighting those Pokemon. There'll be loads of different effects happening in front of you, and then you'll launch off. This is the bit you didn't see me build because for some reason I decided to cut it out. You'll look amongst a huge set over there before launching again over some more rough patches. as you fight. Yeah, this is going to be so cool once I've fully themed it. And as much as when I do the work in progress POV, you probably won't be able to appreciate it just yet because we're just going to be staring at grass and the sky. We've hopped on for a POV. I'm going to keep my buddies, the test dummies, in front of me because this is a test run through, not the final version. And I feel like seeing it without them would just basically be like a final POV, so we'll save that for then. But yeah, you can see the scale of the sort of the brick. There's a few little glitchy bits there, but I'll sort that out. Got the little sound effect as well, when that'll heal, when that fully works. And then look, you start swaying. Of course, the lighting will be very dim, the Elite Four, as you head into the Grand Hall. And obviously, the further forward you sit, the more of the roof you'll be able to see. But yeah, you'll head into this massive hall and head up this lift, which I managed to make, which literally just takes you up like that. And then the door on that drops down. Yeah, I need to get rid of the piece that comes up over there. And then this is where you'd come face to face with that Elite Four, quadrio. It's not a trio, I don't know what you call it, but the four of them. As we launch out of the hall into the first few scenes. There's going to be some nice effects there, and then this is all unfinished, obviously, but we'll just take a look at the ride and how it moves, especially in the later stages. This is when it gets a bit faster, and you can see it's always avoiding that track, so you can barely see it. And where the track is will always be dark as well, so you won't be able to see it regardless. You've got this nice like swaying, but at the same time it's going up and down. Yeah, I'm really happy with like this ride system and how secretive it is of the track, because you can barely see where the track is. Maybe like a glimpse here and there as we go down the drop. Woo! And this is where the ride gets a bit more intense. You can already see like we're going up and down a lot more. The angles are a lot sort of steeper. And then even this section here, as much as we are just sort of going along, we're still flipping quite viciously left and right before heading down. I've got a really good idea for a move that one of the Pokemon will do to make us fall down like that as we head into this section here. Yeah, it's just the way this ride moves around, and just without the track in shot, it just looks like that Dark Ride, the Ministry of Magic one. I mean, right now we're just staring at a wall, so probably a lot of you don't appreciate this as much as I am, but oh well, as we drop down. And this will be where the Hall of Fame is. Yeah. Awesome stuff. Obviously, right now, it looks so incredibly unfinished, and, well, on ride, it just looks like we're staring at walls and grass. But in the next episode, which will be the final building episode, in the entirety of Discovery Studios, I'm going to complete this entire ride and theme it up fully and show you that final POV. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that, coming very soon. And let me know any thoughts on a name for this ride. I know we haven't themed it up fully yet, and that'll probably come next time, but if you have any ideas, let me know. And in the meantime, go and check out a recent Planet Coaster pre-creation I made of a brand new water coaster that's opening in the UK in real life next year. I made it in Planet Coaster, much like I did that Dark Ride, but this is actually going to be real. Go give it a watch.